Hey guys, my name is Donnie and welcome to my channel. Welcome to my very noisy workshop. In today's video I'm going to focus on getting this body ready for paint. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to mount this body to the chassis permanently so that I can eliminate any kind of movement on this body. And also, whilst I'm going to do that, I'm probably going to need to shim or put some washers in certain specific places so that I can get the door gaps as close to right as I can without having to work on the doors or bend the doors too much. So I just finished up strapping down the back of the body to the chassis. And well, what happened was it opened up a huge gap here at the top, making this door alignment horrible actually, and the same things on the other side. So what needs to happen is the rear end of this whole body needs to lift up so that this part of the door gap can pinch up a little bit. Okay, so what I've done was I cut a piece of 20mm square tubing, and I'm going to see if I can wedge it in between the body and the chassis over here so that I can lift up the back of this body and try and close up the door gap. I don't know if that's the right way or if there's another way or what, but I'm going to try it and see if it works out. Okay, so I've managed to wedge that piece of square tubing in there. I think after everything is painted it'll work well. And you'll also notice that the door gaps has tightened up. It's become much better now, except for the fact that the door is sticking out there at the bottom, but I'm just going to bend that in. But both of them are much better now. But I think okay guys, so I can't seem to find any other place where this body mounts to the chassis at the back other than over there and over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just wedge this piece of rubber in between the chassis and the body over there and on the other side, because that is where the rear dicky seats cab sits, and I think that'll give it some extra strength. So I'm going to lift up the body and just wedge this in between and then strap it down. Okay, so now that I'm satisfied with the back end, I can focus on the doors, just to get this bent door straightened out. The other side looks exactly the same, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up this door panel, take off this door panel and see what the inside looks like. Okay, so now I got the door panels off. These doors are even flimsier than they were with the door panels on. It's as if the door panels were helping to keep them stiff. Um, so I need to figure out a way to stiffen these doors up, and in the wise words of Roald Dahl's BFG, I don't really have the foggiest, but I think in the next scene I probably will have figured out something, and I'm going to implement it and hopefully be able to do something to get these doors stiffened up. Okay, so I've come up with a plan. The guys at the hardware store tells me that this stuff will bond wood and metal or steel or plate very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be pressing that stuff in between all of these cavities over here to give a bit more rigidity to the door. And then what I want to do is I'm going to take this steel binding wire and I'm going to make a strap between that corner and this corner over here, and then I'll be able to tighten the strap up to basically just tighten up this door, and hopefully if everything dries up it will be nice and sturdy afterwards. It's getting too late to tell if it's too soon. Well, that some of us go. Thin by the moon. Oh. Okay, cool. So, well, that worked very well. I put this wire in between these two corners, stiffened it, tightened it up, bent the door to where I wanted it to be, and then I put some of that glue in between the wooden frame and the outer skin, and I believe by the time this glue is dry I'll be able to remove this wire completely. It'll be that stiff, but I'm not going to. I just want to show you when I close this door how good this gap looks now. It's a lot better than it used to be, and the only thing that happened is that the door lifted up. I think it was probably sagging a bit, so it lifted up a little bit. I'll just have to put a spacer underneath this part of the body and lift it just a little bit from the frame so that it'll line up. But apart from that, I'm very satisfied with how this door came out. I just need to do the other side also, and then we can move to the back. Okay, so I just want to show you guys what I was busy doing now with that part there of the body. This back panel does not fit in that hole at all. The fit is absolutely horrible. So what I did was I took a piece of steel pipe and I made sure that it had the exact same form as this panel does, just so that I don't have to move this panel back and forth all the time. And then what I did was I hammered and oiled and maneuvered this panel so that the fit would be as close to the panel as I possibly can get it, so that I won't have to use a lot of filler when installing this panel. I just want to show you You might not be able to see the difference. You might have seen the difference it made with me hammering and doiling and riveting everything together, but I'll show you what the other side looks like that I have not started working on yet, and you can clearly see how much different it looks and how much work there still is to do on this side. That was the case on the other side as well. You can see there's a huge gap over there, and then there's a huge gap over there as well. We don't want to fill that with a body filler. I'd like to get these lines as close as I can to right and use as little filler as possible. So now I'm going to do this side, and then we can put the boot back on. Okay, so guys, the way that this back panel goes onto the car, it hinges on this hole and that hole, and it usually is just held together with a bolt and nut, but it leaves you with zero adjustability on this back part. So what I've done is I've made two of these little bad boys, and they can go in there and move freely. And what I'll do is I'm gonna drill out this hole, and then if I put this guy in there, I'll be able to move it up and down and side to side, and giving myself a little bit of adjustability on this back panel so that I can get it to fit nice and properly. That worked good. I was able to now get some pretty damn good adjustability, and it fits better than it ever did. So now I can start manipulating the sides and then just fill it with some filler and do something about this. But I've got a plan for that. Yes, so let's continue. Hey guys, I think I'm going to stop this video here. I didn't really want to stop it in the middle of without completing or reaching some sort of a milestone, but I think we've reached one. I've got this back panel to fit properly and the doors are fitting nicely. The next thing that needs to happen is I'm going to brace up this part here, and on the other side I'm going to ask my guy Andres to start sanding down this one. He's already started with some of those parts over there, and I'm going to be doing some brazing, and maybe we can push this one through, and then in the next video hopefully I'll be putting some filler and some primer on the car, and maybe if we get lucky we'll even be able to paint it. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll try and make it quick. Cheers.